What if we helped people who help people? Speak4MC provides training, motivational talks, personal reflections on parenting, resilience, and working through adversity. Welcome to Speak for Maggie's Change. Hit that subscribe button. What's up, social media people? How are y'all doing? And if you're watching this on replay, I appreciate you too, even if you're not watching live. So this is just going to be a quick update for the Speak4MC side. I was actually just about to send out an email campaign, and I realized you're paying all this money for StreamYard. Why not just use StreamYard for the announcement instead of the email campaign? And then also, I received a email not too long ago, and it was after one of my email blasts, and all it said is, you send too many emails. That's all it said. No other context or additional information. That was the only that was the only message, but it's decent feedback. So I say all that to say, let's go live real quick, talk about some updates that are happening with Speak4MC. I got some really cool stuff coming up. So join me. If you're with me right now, it's always this weird technical spot where I'm not sure if I'm live right now. The computer is telling me, but am I really? If you see me on one of these 4 platforms, whether it be X, YouTube, LinkedIn, or Facebook, go in the comments for me and just say hi or hello, or give me one word to describe your day, or maybe tell me why you're on social media at 11 o'clock instead of, out there grinding. No judgment there. I'm just joking. So let's talk about some Speak4MC updates that we have going on. Okay. So first and foremost, check this out. I am the keynote speaker at the State of Talent Conference through Career Source Suncoast. And big shout outs to Kurt and Christina for helping make this happen. They saw me on LinkedIn, reached out, we had a conversation, and they said, hey, you know what, you should be a part of this conference, which is, really cool because I'm not a big cold calling person. So just trying to find those relationships organically, that goes a long way. So I'll be speaking at the State of Talent Conference. This is next week. This is going to be primarily a lot of HR professionals. Here it is right here. See, that's me. That's yours truly. Look at that guy smiling. We're going to be talking about pace, how to keep pace with change. And this is a really cool topic for me because it's rooted in motivational interviewing. If anybody is familiar with MI or motivational interviewing, it's all about inspiring others to see a different perspective. Can you engage them? And then can you retain them? And then can you motivate them? So in that whole process, there's something called the PACE acronym that I'm going to use as part of this keynote. And we're going to talk specifically, though, how to engage team members, how to retain them, but most importantly, how to coach and help them through the status quo or the discomfort that comes with disrupting the status quo, which is always an interesting conversation. I am going to try a bunch of different things during this keynote that I have not tried yet, because why not? I'm going to be bringing people on stage. We're going to have mic runners. It's going to be controlled chaos and hopefully a lot of laughs and a lot of fun. So if you're attending this conference, I look forward to connecting with you. Hopefully we could chat a little bit. If you are not attending, hey, it's not too late. Go to careersuncoast.com. Here's some of our other speakers. They got a really strong list. So that's next Tuesday. Again, that's Keep Pace with Change. We're going to be talking about engagement and retention. That's a big keynote, so I'm super excited about that. Let's talk about what else we have going on here. Oh, yeah. So first and foremost, SETA. Let me give a shout out to SETA and anybody that's with the SETA squad. They have a conference coming up in September or late September, early October over in Mississippi. So I got some news about SETA. This is breaking news, actually. If is there anybody in the comments or watching right now that is familiar with SETA or connected with SETA? Because I have some big news, some breaking news. You notice how I'm just letting the anticipation sit because of this breaking news. I need breaking news audio right now. What is the breaking news? What do we mean when we say breaking news? I'm really just stalling right now. Let me tell you about the breaking news with SETA. I did run for election to be the Florida state rep for SETA. And I had a campaign slogan. I had my talking points. I was going to host town halls and all of this. I was ready to go. I wanted to see what that process would look like. And then I got an email that said nobody else nominated themselves or was nominated, so you win. So I didn't get a chance. I didn't get a chance to run my campaign, but that's okay because I have been selected to be the state rep for SETA. I will be the Florida state rep, which means I'm going to be heavily involved in Florida on the workforce development side, which is, if you follow the Aware News Network, it all connects, whether it's workforce development, connects to child welfare, connects to juvenile justice, like all these things blend together. So to be able to take a bigger role on this side and especially represent the state that I was born and raised, I am super pumped about this. And the Florida SETA conference next year is happening in March. So I'm going to have a big role and a big say on helping make sure that thing is successful. So definitely keep your eyes posted on any updates related to that conference. So shout out to SETA. If you know anything about me in my background, especially on the workforce side, SETA has been a big advocate and supporter for the work that I do. And I try to give back and do the same. So this is my opportunity to do that. So, one small step at a time, trying to make a difference. So that's really cool. I'll officially be the Florida state rep for SETA in July. So we are nearing that. And you know what? I still might use my campaign slogan. Any guesses on what that slogan is? All right, let's talk about the next thing. Speaking of keynotes, I am going to be the opening session speaker for the National Center for Innovation and Excellence conference that is happening in just 21 days. This is a really cool conference because they are all about wraparound services and high fidelity wraparound. And if you were listening to the Aware's News Network last week, I did the keynote for HFW over in North Carolina. And this high fidelity wraparound model is just incredible. When you talk about hitting every level of services and needs for the families and the youth we serve, the wraparound approach is just incredible at doing that. So I get a chance to speak at the wraparound conference over in Cocoa Beach in 21 days. And I'm going to be, well, one, I'm going to do the opening session where I talk about will it ruin or remake you. This is one of my favorite topics. I get very vulnerable with this one and tell some real stories about our experiences in the helping profession and our adoption journey as well. So this is a really powerful opening session. So if you're attending this, I encourage you to, I know the morning session, sometimes you're like, hey, I just got here. I want to go to the beach first. Come to this one. It'll be powerful. It'll be impactful. And then after that, I'm doing a workshop, the first of its kind workshop that I've ever done on AI, how to use AI. And specifically, we're going to talk about ChatGPT to empower young people. So I was doing a deep dive on this topic and I went down this rabbit hole where I was comparing mental heuristics from how we see the world and how we think and how we make quick decisions versus how AI does it. And what was really fascinating is a lot of our quick decisions and jumps are influenced by obviously previous experiences, but also our biases and our emotions. Whereas AI is absent of emotion, apparently, hopefully. We'll see how long that lasts. So they're more making decisions. They're quick jumps based off of statistics, data, analytics, previous information, obviously. So we are both making these quick judgments and trying to come to a conclusion and solve problems fairly quickly, but the ways we come at them are different. So then the idea is, can we take the strengths that we have in our decision making and the strengths that AI has in its decision making, and can we get the best of both worlds if we're working together in a collaborative way? So we're going to talk about that at the workshop at the National Center for Innovation and Excellence conference. If you're going to be on that side of the state, I hope you're there. We can connect, we can talk. It's going to be a really good one. So I appreciate everything that team does. Also, shout out to Jared for making this happen, and then shout out to OSHA for making this happen as well. We appreciate, or I appreciate you so much. Okay, next update. Let's talk about Cape Conversations. So if you were not aware yet, I have released my second book, Cape Conversations, a roadmap to communicating with the child welfare system. Essentially what this book is we reflected back on our adoption journey and thought, if at the beginning, when this thing first started, there was a book that we could have that would help us navigate and know what questions to ask and kind of know all the pieces to the puzzle, what would that book look like? And what I did is I did my best to create a book that would meet that need. So this is a book that I would have wanted when I first started on the adoption journey. So if you know anyone who is considering adopting through the child welfare system, is considering fostering, this would be a great resource that they can get on the front end, not necessarily when you're nearing the end. Now, if you're in the midst of it and you're trying to figure things out, there's definitely a lot of value to it. But I would definitely encourage those who are considering the journey to start with education on the front end to help you best navigate that situation. So that book is available now. If you know someone who you're like, wow, they could really use this, I just got a shipment of books in, and send me an email at curtis@speak4mc.com, and let's see if I can get that in the hands of some people that really need it. I also plan to drive around Florida to visit some of our agencies that serve this population and drop off some books to them as well. So that book is now available on Amazon. And since I am on Amazon real quick, just a little shout out. Look how this book is doing. This is my very first one. I got 4.9 out of 5 stars, 88% reviews. Where's my, it's got a freaking awesome review in here. I mean, it's just for those that already reviewed the book and put your kind words in there. I mean, that means a lot. It's Cape Conversation, How Superheroes Communicate with Children. Anybody that's working with at-risk youth, has a little one in their house and might be considering adopting or just started fostering, or you're in a case management role where you're working with young people. I took all the experience that I had from starting with group homes all the way to running juvenile justice programs, and then what I've learned when we started a family ourselves, and put all of that in this book. So if you are in the youth service field or you're helping people that help people, this book would be for you. And look, it's 4.9 stars. That's pretty cool. And yes, that cover is me and my little girl. And the cover, I do look taller than I am in real life. You know, I just bring that up because somebody brought that up at a local conference. But hey, no judgment. All right, let's do the last update, and that is this Friday, the Aware News Network episode 2 will be live, and we're actually going to have 2 guests this time. We're going to have one guest from the child welfare space, talk about some of the work that they're doing in Florida, and then we're also going to have a expert in workforce development who's worked for Job Corps for, I believe, about 15 years to talk about their perspective and their views on what's happening right now with Job Corps. On my end, I have reached out to a couple of local officials to try to get an opinion on the Pinellas County campus, which is the one I'm closest to kind of get a feel for, hey, what's the transition here? What are your thoughts on here? What are your opinions on this? Obviously, there's a lot of people that are doing that as well. But what we wanted to do is say, let's give somebody some space to talk about what their journey's been like with Job Corps, and then their thoughts are on the future of Job Corps. So we're going to have guests talking about that on Friday. And then obviously with my amazing co-host, Hope Cross, will be helping me out. And shout out to Hope Cross. Let me plug her stuff real quick, because you got to support people. You have to support people who support you, support small businesses, right? Support people who are trying to make a difference. If you are not familiar with Hope Cross, you can find her on all the social media platforms. It's HOPE and then CROSS. And she specializes in trauma-informed care and resiliency, trauma-informed team building, and resilient team building. So it's the end of the fiscal year here. We only got about 25 days left. So if you have some additional funding that you need to spend down and you want to spend it down in a meaningful way, Hope would be phenomenal for that. And then obviously Speak4MC is here in with whatever needs you have. If it relates to change, I'm the change guy. You want to talk about engaging someone in change, helping them navigate the resistance that comes with change. You know, that's just what I do. So, hey, I don't know. We're with us about 16 minutes. Was that better than an email blast that might have just went to your spam? Who knows? Maybe we'll never know. But we did it. We made it happen. And if you're watching this on repeat, I appreciate you. Throw it in the comments. Let me know. And I will update you soon. Speak4MC. Speak for motivating change, people. Let's go. What if we helped people who help people? Speak4MC provides training, motivational talks, personal reflections on parenting, resilience, and working through adversity. Welcome to Speak for Maggie's Change. Hit that subscribe button.